Hey guys, Ben from Toolbox Buzz here, and I want to do a review on the LOMAX Stance hard tonneau cover. I just got this a few weeks ago, so I've been testing it out on the job site as well as around the yard. It has some really great features to go over, so here we go. If we look at the outside, the first thing to note is the super low profile of this. It's an all aluminum trifold hard tonneau cover that has one distinct feature that we're going to look at here in a second with a vertical flip up. But just from the outside, it comes in two different finishes. This is the diamond urethane finish, or the diamond mist finish with the urethane coating. But it also comes in a non-braid diamond plate, just a flat, which is just their standard urethane coat. From the outside, this diamond plate is going to give it a little bit of added strength from the texture, as opposed to the flat. That's just the properties of the aluminum. It's really almost all aluminum and rubber. There's a couple of steel linkages that we'll look at here in a second. The other thing to note, along with the super low profile, we'll give you a zoomed in picture here, is this rubber. Okay, this rubber seal. It's a weather tight seal that goes all the way around. And we'll have some video of a Cape Cod storm that came through a few weeks ago, a tropical storm. So I can attest that the water proofing and the weatherproofing of this is really great. Another test that Agri cover, who's the maker of this, did was they actually shot, I guess, 1-inch hailstones at 80 miles an hour just to prove the rigidity and the longevity of the construction. So at least in the tropical storm I put it through, and on the job site it's held up really, really well with very, very little to no water leakage around the seal. So kudos to them for that. Okay, let's take a look at the inside here a little bit with some of the construction. The first thing to note is when I close this, you can actually watch it bump up just a little bit. Okay, see that bounce? That's how I know I've got my tight seal along the back. So I drop this down, and I can actually open it from the side, or I can hop up in the middle because it has a pull rope. So you can see the rope hanging down. It does have adjustable, I guess, plastic insets in this channel on where I want to have it. So I could adjust it, but it's good as it was. It took me about 45 minutes to install. It's a no drill install, so it's all aluminum clamps. So here, let's take a look at this. I'll give you some pictures, but you can see right there, that's actually, they call it the tight bite clamping system. I mean, it works pretty well. So it was, like I said, 45 minutes. It wasn't too hard to do. I did it by myself. The whole thing weighs about 60 pounds, so it's not overly heavy. Really pretty straightforward. All right, so I've got an aluminum extruded channel, and I've got a nylon locking clips, and then the rope. So when I pull here, it's going to pull this one. You can see that mechanism. And then if I pull kind of on the other side of the rope, it'll do it on the other end. So with one pull of the rope here, I can get both sides, and then I can fold it up. Okay, the other piece to note is you'll see that there's these rubber seals, rubber feet. So when it flips down, all four of these rubber feet are going to be on contact with the finished top. Okay, it does two things. Number one, it prevents it from marring, and if you're going to spend the price point on it, which we'll get to in a second, I don't want to scratch the top. But the other thing it does is it makes for a really, really quiet ride. So any vibration or any movement as you're going down the road, you won't hear it. So that's a really nice feature there. Okay, so same setup, right? I'm going to give it a tug, kind of from both directions, and I'm going to flip it up. Okay, now this is where the magic happens. So we'll come around here on the side, and there's these plastic clips. There's two of them. There's one on either side. And then there's these bungee cords, built-in bungee cords. So I'm going to lock in each bungee cord. I'll give you a zoomed-in picture here in a second. Let me go get the other side. These clips are actually screwed in through the aluminum and more sturdy than they look. All right. And what that's going to do, let me hop up in here. What that's going to do is once I've got those two locked in, it's going to prevent the bottom from flipping out when it goes vertical. And that's really the main selling feature to me of this tonneau, is it's going to store in a vertical position, giving me full access to the bed. So your standard trifold tonneau cover, the hard tonneau cover, you're going to lose a third of your bed. Well, this is already a short bed truck. I really don't want to afford to lose a third of it. But the major advantage here is that I have the vertical access. So let me pull that cord. Let me go vertical. If you see it from the side, okay, when I go up, you can see it kind of drop down. That's what those two elastic levers do, is they keep that tight up against so it doesn't flip out and hit my window. So smart design feature there. All right, now I'll give you some zoomed in shots here, but these are going to be the rigid link locking system. All right, so you can hear it click in place. That's because it's got a heavy neodymium magnet in it. And I've got 2 of them. Now, if you get a side shot here, you'll see that I've got about a 1-inch gap from the back window and the back brake light, upper brake light, to the tonneau cover. These plastic, we call them heavy-duty molded plastic locking mechanisms, keep it from contacting that. So, not that I want to put a bunch of tools up against it, but you know, I would if I had them strapped down. But there's no contact, which is really nice. Now I did have to attach these. One of the nice things they did is they gave a primer. So, you know, you do this straight alcohol wipe and then you prime it. So it's not just like a typical 3M, you know, sticky surface, but it is really, really well adhered to. Right, so if we get a zoom in here, this is a better shot. So I'm just going to pop this magnet up. It's going to swivel in. And then I'm going to put it in the locking mechanism, and that's how it's going to stow, and that's how it was before I set it up. One of the other nice features here, lock that in, is these are adjustable, so these will just slide right over. There it goes. And then you can always loosen this Allen bolt and slide that around. I tried to get it as close to a 90 degree to make sure that the pressure was forward and made for max contact. So again, you can see some of the extruded aluminum, which is great for weatherproofing, and you can get a good shot here of what that locking mechanism looks like. So you've got about 1/2 of an inch of contact area, and then one of the nice features is that you have these locking mechanisms at every point of the trifold. Sometimes you just get them at the very back edge, but in total they sell it as a 10-point locking system, and it keeps it really secure. And we'll drop it back down and I'll show you what it looks like. But again, with that aluminum top, right, you get some tools, you don't want people stealing them. This keeps them secure, this keeps them safe from the weather, and this maximizes your storage space. Some of the common questions that I had that I expect other folks will have is, what other pieces of equipment can this work with? Because while it's a beautiful cover and keeps tools safe, I also like to put a ladder rack, for instance, on my truck. So this does work with ladder racks. It won't work with all ladder racks. I know that Agri cover does have a compatible aluminum rack that will go with this. And I guess if you were to get a ladder rack that went straight vertical, then it should be fine, because the rails mount on the inside inch of the side rails. So as long as you leave the outer open. But when it flips up vertically, you just have to make sure that whatever rack you have isn't canted inside. So TBD on a potential follow-up with the Agri cover ladder rack. It will not work with a headache rack, because as you saw, right, it's mounted flush up against the window, so it's not going to work there. So it will work with bed caps, and it will work with most bed rails as well. So 3 out of the 4 common accessories, but not with a headache rack. Again, though, when it's flipped up vertically, I wouldn't want to store things as securely against it like I have with a headache rack, but it does offer some protection. Okay, so let's talk price for a minute. The MSRP of this is $1,200, but if you go to agricover.com with this finish, the diamond mist finish, it's actually, I think, $1,050. So you're looking at somewhere between $1,050 and $1,200 with tax, and right now they're doing a free shipping special. But anyways, that's your price point, $1,100, give or take, $100. It is a significant investment. Again, though, I've probably got almost that just with the 2 tools that I've got in the back. If those get up and walk off a job site, right, this was a wise investment. The other thing that you'll see with the hard tonneau covers is they're sold as the fuel savings. LOMAX or Agri cover has a calculator, so just for fun, I ran it with the numbers off my truck, and I'll save about $108 a month if I drive about 1,000 miles a month. So I can pay this off in about 10 years. I mean, it'll pay for itself. It is a significant investment, but again, one that I think is a wise investment based on the amount of money that I've already put into tools and driving around to different job sites. It's a pretty slick design. It works great. I've got a ton of equipment. So let's go through and let's show you what we got. probably could have gotten half, maybe 2/3 of this in there, but there's no way I could have done some of the high stuff. So all right, the rainstorm just stopped. As you can see from this bed is almost bone dry. Pretty impressive. So some final thoughts on the LOMAX stance tonneau cover. Overall, I am thrilled with the quality and the overall fit of this tonneau cover. It's a 5 out of 5 stars for me, easy. The only cause that might give anyone hesitation would be the price point. But again, we'll get to that here in a second. Overall, on the install, I love the tight bite system. I love the no drill setup. It was easy to do. It was very manageable for one person to do. The flush fit looks fantastic. The all aluminum build plus the 10-point locking system really does a great job keeping your stuff secure and keeping that profile low and looking good on the truck there. In addition, it gives great weather protection. So the full rubber seal plus the rubber gaskets plus that aluminum plus the urethane coating make for a tonneau cover that I am highly confident will hold up very, very well in whatever weather, and Cape Cod's got some tough weather. The vertical storage feature sets this apart from other tonneau covers, even other hard trifold aluminum tonneau covers. Having that full bed access is worth every penny. You combine that with a great rigid lock system that holds it vertical, but holds it also from not touching your truck while it's stored, and it's just a fantastic combination. It does a really nice job protecting your stuff. I mean, you've already invested in your stuff. You might as well invest a little bit more in the cover to protect it, both from weather and from theft. In addition to that, I mean, you get your fuel savings. So will it pay itself off in a month, in a year, in 2 years? No, but over time it can, especially depending on how much you drive. And then lastly, it is compatible with other accessories as well. So just because you put this on, again, doesn't mean you can't put a ladder rack or other additional work accessories, which a lot of us will use at the job site. So I hope you've enjoyed this review as much as I've enjoyed doing it. And until next time, all right, thanks.